thought, you know what? Other people's judgment about me says everything about them and nothing about me. And
Yes.
yes, absolutely. And it is high time I step into who I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it so happened now we have our next guest, beautiful, beautiful Lora Cheadle. And she's right here waiting for us. But before I say anything about Lora, just let me give a little food for thought. I call it quotation. 5 things that we should quit. 1, quit trying to please everyone. You can't please everybody. Some of us are people pleasers, and I too was one, and it took a toll on me. It took such a drastic toll on me. You have to be careful. You can't please everyone. All right? Quit fearing change. A lot of us have that fear of the unknown. We have that fear of the unknown, so we don't want to step outside of that comfort zone and of that box that we have, that imaginary box that's holding us back. Quit it. All right? Some changes you just have to make. You have to take that first step. Probably that's your purpose, that's your destiny you're going to fulfill. But because you didn't make that change, you didn't take that step, you're now stuck. All right? Quit living in the past. A lot of us keep bringing up the things of the past. And he said this and that one did that, and it's distressing. And I say no stress. So quit living in the past, please. Some things you just have to think about, vent, and let it go. Move on. You living in the past is holding you back. It's keeping you there. So some things you just have to heal from and proceed forward. Quit living in the past. Quit putting yourself down. What is that language that you're speaking to yourself? The negatives. Be careful. What you put out in the atmosphere, that's exactly what you're going to get. So quit putting yourselves down. Speak positivity into your life and into the life of others. Okay? Be that motivator, that elevator, that mentor, that guide. Speak positive energy out there. We need it now more than ever. All right? And quit overthinking. So we're in our minds too much. We think too much, and that too keeps us stuck and from making that decision and proceeding forward. All right. On that note, we have here Miss Lora Cheadle. Hi, Lora.
Hi there. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. Now, my people, Lora is an author. She's an author and a burlesque dancer, and she has a mission. But she's going to be the one to tell us about her mission and a little more about herself. Lora.
Absolutely. My mission, my passion is to help everybody, women especially, be seen for who they are, not for who they think they should be.
Yes.
Part of the reason I'm so passionate about this is I'm a former corporate attorney. And my personality is very bubbly, and I smile all the time, and I like to be pretty, and I, like my sparkly things. And that did not fit the persona of attorney. And I was constantly feeling that tension of I'm supposed to look a certain way. I'm supposed to pitch down my voice. I'm supposed to be more professional, when really I want to be a burlesque dancer. I want to be a mom. I want to have fun and joy and express myself my own way. And after 10 years of practicing, it was one of those things where I thought, you know what? Other people's judgment about me says everything about them and nothing about me.
Yes.
And yes, absolutely. And it is high time I step into who I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who am I? Know that about you. Who am I? And stand in your power, your authority, and your truth. All right, Lora, continue. I'm hearing.
Absolutely. What I always encourage others to do is know yourself and show yourself. And we hear a lot about self-love and falling in love with yourself and all of that. And that's one of those things that it's easy to understand in your head, but it's not easy to understand in your heart or to translate into your actions. Because it's one thing to be sitting around with a group of friends and saying, yeah, I'm going to just do this and I don't really care. And then all of a sudden your mother-in-law is there, or your boss is there, or people that you care about is there. And it's really hard to stand in your own power and to
Yes.
show yourself, yeah, authentically for who you are. And that's the gap that I really work with people on bridging and that I encourage people to bridge. And as part of that work, I've got 3 different questions that I will challenge you to always keep as top of mind. And first of all, the first one is, if you ever hear yourself saying or thinking, if only.
Yes.
If only I could lose 10 pounds, then I'm going to be really happy. If only I can find love, then. It's that if, then, if, then. When we fall into that if, then thinking, that's when we start giving our power away. Because really, it's if I can be living by somebody else's standards, is what we're really saying when we do that. And we're denying our own happiness. You can be happy all the time. Yes, bad things happen and you can manage them. And we'll go into my bad story here pretty soon.
Yes.
But yes, we will. But it's always our choice to choose in that moment what we're going to express. And while it's very important not to take that spiritual bypass and just say, yeah, I'm happy and it's all great, that's not what it's about. But it's not giving our power to something outside of ourselves to be happy. If what, then what? It's all about you.
Yes.
If you lose 10 pounds, you might feel better. You might have more energy. That's true. But it's not, if I lose 10 pounds, then I will find love. You can find love at any weight, at any size. If I get a good relationship, then I'll start traveling, then I'll be happy. Something else is keeping you from being happy, not the relationship. That's something that's outside of you. It's all within.
Yes. Yes.
A similar question, if then, second one is, but for. But for my divorce, everything would be perfect. But for my narcissistic, toxic spouse, sister, boss, partner, whatever, then life would be perfect. Oh, even if you think about in terms of a diagnosis, but for this diabetes, I would be feeling good. Except this, then I would. It's the same kind of thinking. It's turning your power over to something that's outside of you. And then the third question that is in the same vein of those is, when I pay down my credit cards, then it's going to be good. When the pandemic is over, then. When. That's all future thinking, and it's all turning your power over to people who are outside of you. The phrase that I use is naked self-worth.
Yeah.
Naked self-worth is the ability to love, to value, to know yourself, and to show yourself for who you are, not for who you think you should be. And again, that's so simple to understand up here, and it's so difficult to translate into action. But the best way to start translating it into action is to catch your thinking, to catch the words that come out, if only, but for, when I, and to start stripping out of those beliefs, stripping out of those labels, stripping out of those ideas that you need anything outside of you to be different. Like Mitch said, I'm a burlesque dancer. Burlesquing is about stripping out of the layers, the costumes, the masks, the identities that we put on in order to be accepted by other people, and revealing our hearts, revealing our pain, revealing our glory. We are all so much stronger and brighter and more brilliant than we ever show, because we're afraid. We're afraid of being hurt, but we're also afraid of being strong and brilliant.
Yes.
So strip out of those costumes every night. You take off your clothing. Think about when you go to work in the morning, you put on your business suit. If you're going to a PTA meeting or at an event at school, you put on your mom clothes. If you're going on a sexy date night or a first date, you're putting on some sexy costumes. Everything we wear is a costume. We just don't tend to think of it as that. Start thinking about your identities, your persona, and what you can take off, and how you can let your brilliance and your beauty as you are shine through. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story that's hopefully going to make all of this come to light. Like I said, I was a corporate attorney for 10 years. I left the law. I started doing the self-development work. I started working with women on getting to know themselves and show themselves. I was really feeling good about my work and my place in the world. I got a book contract. I got a radio show. I'm like, yes, I'm teaching people how to be happy, and this is so amazing. Well, the universe works in strange ways. Right at the peak, where my youngest was graduating from high school, my business was taking off, my kids were going to be gone, I can start being happy. I found out that my husband, we'd had a great relationship at the time. We had been married 23 years. We were so happy. Had been cheating on me for 15 of those years, not with one woman or two or three or four, but with 5 women for 15 years. And my world crumbled and my identity crumbled. And I felt like I had been completely gutted and I didn't know who I was. And I felt like everything had been fake in my whole life. And I had to rebuild from that place of naked self-worth. Because the idea that he could do that to me and to us and to our family, I couldn't even process. And it was the hardest thing that I've ever gone through. And I also had to do it fairly publicly because I was in the business of being happy no matter what's going on around you. And it was like God, the universe is saying, are you kidding me? Let's see if you can walk your talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. But you know what? I came back stronger than I was before and more connected to my identity and more sure of myself and my worth because everything was stripped away from me. My status, my title, my security, everything that I had worked for 23 years was gone. And I found that I truly was okay. And not even okay, but I could still be happy. And it might sound strange, but even with everything gone, that's when I actually learned to be the happiest because I truly was no longer concerned about what people thought because I didn't have it in me to even care. I showed up as I was. I did what I could. Things were not perfect. And there's grace all around. There is amazing grace all around in everything. And it set me free. And that's what I want to leave you with today, is that idea of what will set you free. What outside of you are you putting too much weight on? Your title, I'm a lawyer. Your role, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a 6-figure earner. Your looks, I wear this size. I can lift this much weight. What are you relying on that is not you? If everything was stripped away, who would you be? And how can you find joy and worth and love and connection in who you are at your most brilliant and beautiful and authentic core?
Awesome. Awesome. Wow, Laura. Oh my God, you have me dumbfounded. We see a lot of people glory and we don't know. I always say, everyone has a story. Everybody has a story. You see people laughing, you see people carry on, you see people having the flashy life and thing. But if you only you should know the story and what they have been through to accomplish. So when we see them in their glory, we should be happy for them. We should rejoice with them, celebrate with them, and propel them forward with some positive energy, because you just never know. You never know. And if you should ask, you'd be surprised, how they survive. Thank you so much for that, Laura. Laura, for those hurts and heartbroken watching, right? What advice would you give them about going through what they're going through and come out better at the other end?
Yeah. My advice might seem counterintuitive, but it's stripping away the layers. When we're hurt, we cling to what's left. We cling to friendships. We cling to routine. We cling to work. So often we'll throw ourselves into work to avoid feeling the pain.
Yes.
We'll throw ourselves, into some diversion. Strip down. Feel your pain. Feel it deep. Feel it full. Then it's not all about moving through it, but once you feel it fully, you're clean, you're pure, you've gone through it. So if you're in heartbreak, feel that heartbreak. Release those dreams, release the judgments, release the beliefs around what I did wrong and what he did wrong and what she did wrong and what. Go back to those 3 questions. If only we were together, if we hadn't done this, when he comes back to me, then I'll
Yeah.
let it go.
Rose mentioned that earlier, Rose said to feel it. And I mentioned one of my coaches saying that have that pity party, schedule your time for feeling, cry, say 1 hour, 3 to 4 o'clock. That's your pity party. Vent, cry, let it out. And then at 4 o'clock, you said, all right, enough is enough. And you propel and see your best you can take yourself off the ground and move forward. And that is so powerful. Laura, is there a need for marriage or relationship in one's life? I think there's a need per se for it.
Humans need connection. Humans absolutely need connection. We need physical touch. We need to be loved and be loved. We don't need it in the form of a marriage or a romantic partnership, but we need support. We need authentic connections. The belief and the misnomer around a relationship is that once we get a relationship, then we're going to have it and it's going to be perfect. And then we don't have to worry about it. We need connection. Okay. Doesn't matter what form it comes in. We need that connection. And what's ironic about that, again, about stripping away the layers, think about what we do when we want a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or a job. We try harder. Oh, they said they like this. I'm going to wear this. Oh, yeah. They said they like this restaurant. We're going to go there. They said they want to watch this movie. Or we try. Well, those are layers. Those are costumes. Those are masks. And then we're masked and they're masked. And then over time, we start stripping those layers away. And pretty soon it's, but I thought you said you liked football. Oh, well, no, I only liked it because you said you liked it. I thought you liked going to the ballet. No. I only like that because I thought you liked it. And then it's harder to form a relationship or to keep it going because all of our masks are off. Cut those masks in the first place. Be as authentic and as real as you can. We're all hurting. We've all had heartbreak. We all need love. We all need relationships. Strip down, strip down, strip down. Connect heart to heart. Yes. Take it for what it is. and love
Let's
each other.
be the true you and connect in the relationship, because we all, no man is an island. We love to say that in Jamaica. No man stands alone. So we have to connect and have that bond going, you know? Right. And to assist in the building of mankind and the race and everybody. You know, each one help one. All right. What advice would you give to us about self-love and self-worth?
Oh, there is so much. I think we could talk an hour on that.
Next session, not this one.
So again, my big thing on the self-love and the self-worth is getting it out of your head and into your body, into your heart. Express it, move it. We are all conditioned to be into our heads and to think about things and to process things and to decide things and to make rational decisions and to love yourself and to have self-care Saturdays and blah, 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 blah. Move it into your body. Ask your body what it needs. I love dancing. As a little girl, I danced. But did you know dance is unique to all humans? Animals don't have a sense of rhythm. Animals can't clap to the beat. Humans do. Dance is unique to humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's the flow of emotion through our bodies. All cultures throughout all time dance. They move, they express. There's the war dance, there's the wedding dance, there's the connection dance. Self-care and self-love really has to do with moving your body.
But some persons are so rigid and they're afraid. And when they see others expressing themselves, they're like, you're so this and you're so that. And they want to belittle you and they want you to stop.
Yes.
And then you become uncomfortable to please them.
Yes.
That's not fair.
Yep. And think about self-worth. How many of you have been dancing with friends or whatever, and they say something like this: I'm not going to go to the dance floor until I have a drink first.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So you look them up. Yes, I have a friend like that. She just needs to smell it. And she's wild.
Yeah.
And I know she's watching.
That's that self-worth piece. We don't think we dance good enough. We think people will look at us. We think people will judge us. Yeah, that is that self-worth piece. Love yourself through your body, through your movements, through your actions. Here's the other thing about self-love and self-worth. You will never arrive. I will never arrive.
Yes.
It's not a place that you just get to and you say, oh, I love myself. I totally have worth.
Yes.
Life is a work in progress, and we're always taken down. We're always hurt. We lose people that we love. The pandemic happens. Jobs, get lost.
Yes.
We get diagnoses. It's okay. Life truly goes like this. It's just always that journey of challenging yourself to strip out of those layers and to connect to your own heart and to ask your body what it needs. Do you need food?
Yes.
Do you need sleep? Do you need play? Yeah. So don't ever expect to just get there. I've got it. I've got self-worth. I've got it. I've got self-love. It's something we're always trying for. And be gentle. Always be gentle with yourself.
Be gentle. Yes. How important is sex to relationship? And should people spend extended time away from each other and not have sex? Is that right?
It's a very personal thing. However, sex is very important. Sex has got some incredible physiological benefits. You release oxytocin, you release all of those feel-good chemicals. It's a healthy thing. It is a basic biological need. As a purely physical organism, we kind of need sex. It's a drive, and it's important because it creates that bonding.
Yes.
However, that layer of emotion can also be really difficult to manage. And when we are experiencing problems with ourselves, with our self-worth, when we fall into body shame, if we're in a tough place in our relationship, it can be difficult to have sex. But it's always important to at least be looking in the direction of, yes, we both want and need and deserve and desire sex, and to always be trying to get back to that place of having sex. because it's really good for you. And it's really fun. And
Yes.
yeah, and did you know most women have what's called responsive desire? Most women don't just look at a man and go, woohoo, I want to have sex. Most women don't start feeling the desire for sex until they have sex. So it's one of those things that sometimes, even if you're thinking I'm not in the mood, once you start having sex, then you start wanting more sex. And you're normal, you're not broken. Men can look at somebody and say, I want sex. Women oftentimes don't. They have to start having it. So understanding it, talking about it, and just enjoying yourself, because it truly is all about enjoying yourself and having fun.
Yes, yes. In your relationship, enjoyment, being free, having fun. So, Laura, they said that the primary, well, most women says the primary reason men cheat is due to that sex, lack of it in the relationship. That's the excuse they get.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
It's absolutely not true. If you actually look at the research, most men, especially, the sex that they have in an affair is worse quality sex. They don't cheat for the sex. If you look at the research around it, typically when men cheat, it's a cry out for help.
Okay.
They don't have the words around what's going on inside of them. It can be that they're experiencing shame, they're experiencing depression, they're experiencing frustration. And because of the cultural constraints around men are supposed to be manly and know what they want, and they're supposed to man up and they're supposed to do it right, it's this crazy external pressure and they don't know how to relieve it. So one of the things that they'll do is they'll seek out an affair because it can just blow up the marriage, and then yeah, it's an excuse to leave because they don't know how to deal with it. But they're really crying out for help.
Okay. So they're basically, they have an underlying issue there and they're not talking about. So they're crying out secretly. And that is why oftentimes they step outside of the matrimonial household and so on and so forth. Awesome.
Mostly like that. It's the symptom, the cause and the symptom. The cause usually is not sex. It usually is.
It's not sex. They just say that. The easy way out, the quick way out. That's what they take. Okay, all right. So Laura.
Yeah, it's just like emotional eating. Think about it with emotional eating.
Yes, how?
Yeah, when you get stressed out and you grab your pint of ice cream and you start eating it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny you should use the ice cream because that's exactly what I grab for when I'm stressed.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So Laura, what to do when someone you love does not love you back?
When somebody you love does not love you, that's not really a thing. Again, it's like what's really going on and what's going on the surface are two different things. When somebody is not loving you back, other people's response to us often is a mirror. It's holding up a mirror of what's going on inside. So when somebody is not loving you back, internalize that and say, where am I not loving me back?
Where am I? So it's a reflection thing going on. Where am I not loving me back?
Yeah. Where am I rejecting myself? What part of me, again, it goes back to those three questions. If only I were thinner, if only I had a better job, if only I could understand this. Where am I not accepting myself? Where am I not loving myself? Because we can never make another person do anything. Right. We can't make anyone except our own selves do anything. So when somebody doesn't love us back, what are we not accepting in ourselves?
Yeah. Something is lacking now. We need to figure it out. Yes, indeed. Laura, how can we get men to communicate and own their wrongs in our relationships?
We can't. We can't. However, let me tell you this. The best way to get someone to own their wrongs is by being very authentic and open and curious. I shared my story of my husband's infidelity. At first, when I confronted him and this was all coming out, did I want him to own his wrongs? Absolutely. Could I force him to do that? Not a chance. But when I found out about the first affair, I was like, and you're out of here. As I started finding about the others, I got curious. What is wrong? We had such an amazing relationship. We had so much fun. What is wrong? And what's going on? And I was open and I was non-defensive and I was not trying to get him to do anything. I was just curious. What is wrong? And that's when he started owning his wrong, because he was in a safe space to talk about it and to share and to process both internally and externally that here's my pain, here's what's going on, here's what's wrong. So if you truly want to encourage someone to go deep and to own their wrong, the best way to do it is to be curious and open and non-judgmental, and to be that safe space for them so they can start sharing. But if they're not ready,
Good luck, right? Good luck trying. All right. How can we handle being the one always left behind when it comes to relationship? Being the one jilted. What's your take on that? How do we handle that?
Yeah, again, self-reflection. So if something has happened in your life more than a couple of times, it's a habit. And there's something subconsciously going on within you. And going back to the beginning, what are my two big things? Know yourself and show yourself. Okay. Know yourself. And even if you know, yep, I always pick this kind of partner. I always tend to fall into this. You got to know yourself. Know yourself, know yourself, know yourself. If you're being jilted more than a couple times, there's some things for you to look at. And it's okay. We all have our stuff to look at. Get curious and start knowing yourself.
Yeah. And the last question I want to touch on. How can one protect and distance themselves from someone who is toxic?
Sometimes it is so difficult. And the best way to do it is my favorite phrase, accept unconditionally. We have to accept people as they are, not as we think they should be, not as their potential. That is such, excuse me, a common thing that we fall into. We see somebody's potential and we're like, I'm going to stick with them through, and I'm going to make them change, and I'm going to da 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 da.
Yeah.
Accept people where they're at. And then it makes it not about you, because we can disentangle ourselves from their toxicity. They are who they are. They have good points. They have good qualities. They have bad points. They have bad qualities. So do we.
Yes.
It means nothing about us if somebody is toxic. Don't try to change them. Just let it all be. You know, there's that accept what you can change and let the rest go.
Accept. It's funny. It's funny that you should mention that, you know, because I wanted to do a quotation at the end of your session, and it says, we accept the love we think we deserve. And I wanted to expound on it with one of the influencers. I think her name is Iyanla Van Zandt, and she says, people do what they do the way they do it based on who they are and the information they have at that time. So it's funny, you should explain it as such, you know, so it connects, you know, so the universe works.
Yes, perfectly.
Yes. So we accept the love we think we deserve. Yes. And it's basically we doing what we do when we do it based upon the information we have at that time. Yeah. Yep. We're exposed to as kids growing up, we think this is it, and you settle for less.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that's basically, yes.
Yeah. And that's so part two of knowing yourself, showing yourself. This is what I know right now. This is the best that I can do right now. I was in this toxic relationship. I was jilted. I was whatever. at the time I did the best. What do I know now about myself? What do I know now based on my past experiences?
Yes, awesome. Past experiences. What is it you grow with? What you experience as a child, a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old? What is it you're exposed to? The family unit,
Yeah.
is it one that's matriarchal, patriarchal? How the wife or the female head speak to the members? Is it that you're looking for a mother out there too, as a man? These are the little things, you it's
Yeah.
funny, so funny though, you
Yeah.
know?
And that's too about those, I was talking about stripping out of the labels, stripping out of the roles, stripping out of the scripts, stripping down. Who are you? What do you want in a relationship? You might want something out of a marriage that is not a traditional thing that people want out of a marriage. Get rid of the beliefs around what a marriage should look like and make it work for you.
Yes, exactly. And as such, you have to know yourself and show yourself and have those boundaries. Know what you can settle for and what you can't.
Yes.
Wow, powerful. Thank you so much, Laura.
And I'm just going to end with, just because if any viewers are curious, my
Yes.
husband and I are still together.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah. It took a lot of work on both of our behalves. We were
Awesome.
both
You
very
see,
vulnerable and
Rose spoke about Rose spoke about divorce and let it be the extreme last step. If you don't have to go that route and you think you can salvage the relationship, then work on it. And
yes.
that is so good. Thank you, Laura, for that end. A grand end. There's hope in everything.
Yes.
Light at the end of the tunnel, that light. All right. Thank you so much, Laura. But before you go, do you have anything you want to give the viewers just in case, or if they want to be a part of your community, how to follow you or reach you?
Yes, I've got a couple of fun options. My website is Lora, and that's Lora, spelled a little different, and I'll put it in the chat. Lora Cheadle, CHEADLE.com. I've got a little sign up, and you can get a downloadable meditation. It's an amazing meditation, and it really helps calm yourself and start knowing yourself and showing yourself. And if you're more of the adventurous type and you want something fun, go to burlesqueandbubbly.com and you can get a free burlesque and bubbly dance class. And that's a dance class for women of all ages, sizes, abilities. You don't have to know how to dance. You just learn a dance routine. And then we talk honestly about what it means to be sexy, body shame, aging, all of those things that we experience, but we don't want to talk about. This can be your safe space. So Cheadle.com or burlesqueandbubbly.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for coming and gracing us with your experience, your expertise, and just you. Bless your soul. Thank you so much. So, my people, there we have it from Lora Cheadle herself, the lady who says that she was once a lawyer, but now a burlesque dancer. She's not afraid of knowing herself and showing herself. And as such, she asks that we do the same. Get to know you, All right. Avoid these little questions. If only da 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 da, then this da 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 da. But for da 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 da, my divorce, da 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 da, and these are the examples. Avoid these little questions, and these are the things that hold us back. When I lose weight, then maybe I'll feel happy, and all these little things. Conversations we hold with ourselves. We need to be mindful of that. Naked self-worth. So be able to love and value yourself, value yourself for who you are as an individual. Love self, and that's how you can truly know your limits and set your boundaries, what you will accept for what you won't accept. All right. So be free. Yes, she says, be free. Flaunt is the name of her book that she wrote. Yes, Flaunt. I love the title. So be free, and flaunt. And be sure to follow her if there's a need. She has it. She has the expertise. She has it, can give it to you. And she dropped her information right there. So Laura, thank you. Have a great day. Thank you so much. All right. All right, my people. Remember, get your lifetime access so that you have access to all these recordings. It's available. It's right there. All right.